We now move on to the last topic of the program development in C, the structure of a basic C program. We have comments, include preprocessor directive, blank lines and white spaces, the main function, the statement section, and the escape sequences. For the comments, these do not cause the computer to perform any action when the program is executed. These are simply ignored by the C compiler. Comment help other people to read and understand your program. You could write comments in your program that helps the user to understand what the program is all about. The types of comments are the single line, which we can use by providing a 2 / and multi-line by providing 1 / and asterisk your comments and to be ended with another asterisk and /. Let's create a new file, a new C file, save it as helloworld.c. This is an example of a single line comment with the use of 2 / while this one is a multi-line comment and end it with asterisk and /. We use comments, for example, to simply describe your program maybe or write information about your program. For example, this program will display the phrase hello world. So this is a multi-line. Therefore, we change this to asterisk and end it with asterisk /. So I'll delete this. You could also write down about the programmer, for example, programmer, then your name, or any other details that are relevant. So that is comment. You could also write comment to explain what a certain code does. Next structure is the # include preprocessor directive. Lines beginning with the number sign are processed by the preprocessor before compilation, meaning before the programming language is translated into machine code or machine language, these will be processed first. The # include stdio.h tells the preprocessor to include the contents of the standard input-output header in the C program. For example, printf and scanf are functions that are defined in the stdio.h, meaning we have to include this first before we could use the printf and scanf functions. There are several standard library headers that you can include in your C program. Aside from stdio.h, we also have conyo.h, math.h, string.h, ctype.h. We write down the include processor at the very first part of your program. So we have include, then the angle bracket, stdio.h. If you will include other standard library header, simply type include again, then the header name. To add several library headers, you have to include them individually, separately. There. We can also use the define preprocessor directive, which is used to define a constant. For example, the value of pi is 3.1416, which is fixed. We could also define, for example, dollar rate for a day, for example, 51.75. So these are constants, meaning we will be using the constant name whenever we want to make use of their values. Let me delete this first because we will not be including this in our program. Blank lines and white spaces are used to make your C programs easier to read. This includes the blank lines, the space, and tab characters. We use the blank lines and white spaces in between our statements, in between our codes, to make our program readable, especially if our program contains a large number of lines. Next is the main function. Your program will always have the main function. You can make use of different functions, and every function in C begins executing at the function main. Every function that we use in C begins executing at the function main. We make use of the left brace to begin the body of our main function or any other function, while a right curly brace ends each function. The portion of the program between those braces is what we call the block. We write the main function just below the preprocessor directive by typing main, open and close parentheses, then you have the open and close curly braces. At the left side of the main function is where we state whether the main function contains a return type. If a main function return, for example, a data of type integer, we write here int. If it is, for example, character or float, we simply write it at the left side of the main function. But normally, the main function does not return any, so write here void or simply disregard and leave it as blank. If you will return an int data type, for example, make sure to write the statement return 0 later, meaning the main function will return 0, wherein 0 is an integer. But I will remove that first. Then inside the parenthesis of the main function is where you write the parameters. But then again, if the main function does not have any parameter, you type here void or simply leave it again as blank. Some functions have parameters. You write the data type and the variable name to be passed. Let us delete this. The portion from the left curly brace up to the right curly brace is what we call our block. In the block is where we write the statements. There. Next is the statement section. Pieces of codes are found within a block called statements that tell the computer what to perform. Every statement must end with a semicolon, which is also called the statement terminator. Declaring a variable is an example of a statement. The syntax of declaring a variable is to write the data type, the name of the variable, and to end it with a semicolon. So this is variable declaration. Comments are useful to give information about a certain statement. Another is printf hello world. So here, we are using the printf function and its parameter. Remember, in the main function, whatever is inside the parenthesis, that is your parameter. So the parameter of printf is a string. Between the double quote is where you will place the string that you want to display upon execution. Then afterwards, we end it with a semicolon or the statement terminator. This is an output statement. We have here two statements, the variable declaration statement and the output statement. We also have the escape sequences. With the use of backslash and some characters, we are making use of escape sequences. The following are the commonly used escape sequences. We have the new line, horizontal tab, alert, backslash, and double quote. We make use of the backslash and a character N for a new line and character T for a horizontal tab. Character A is to give an alert or a sound, and another backslash, this is to print the backslash symbol. Same is true with the double quote. For example, if we will run this program, we build and run, there we have hello world. Let us try to use the new line escape sequence. So if I will be including here backslash n hello, then a new line, then world. Let's see what happens. There, hello, then it goes to the new line and then world. Let us also use the backslash t. There is a space or horizontal tab. You can use it more than once. There. And let's have a new line before hello. There. Then let's have backslash a for an alert or a sound. There. And what if we want to display a backslash? If we will run this, we do not see any backslash, even though we make use of backslash symbols here. So I'll try to do it at the very beginning. I have here backslash, backslash. So that means a single backslash will be displayed. If you want to have two backslashes, you put another two. This is for printing one backslash and another backslash. You could also do it with double quote. For example, we want to put it before hello. So we have backslash, double quote, and after the exclamation point, backslash, double quote. There. We now have a double quote before and after our hello world phrase. After writing a C program, the programmer should be able to test it like what we did earlier. We try to execute it. So the source codes should be translated into machine codes. This is what we call the compilation. After the program is compiled, it will be loaded into the memory and the program starts execution. These processes, both compilation and execution, are done in code blocks through its build and run functions found in the compiler tools. This one is the compiler tool. We simply right-click on the toolbar section, then we uncheck or we check to return it back. The build function handles the pre-processing, compiling, and the linking phases, while the run function handles the loading and execution phases. That ends our discussion in the structure of a basic C program. As a summary, program development in C has the following topics: the program development lifecycle, the code blocks software, and last but not the least, the structure of a basic C program.